Yo, so I just want to point out this is therapy for us all. Like week in, week out. We look forward to it. Listen,
Fellas,
it's
it's
just
gonna be one of them nights.
it's gonna be. I'm telling you. What's good? What's good? What's good? Welcome to another Tuesday night at 9. Prototype Dad in the building. You know, these nights are always fun for us. You know what I'm saying? So, this is a first and original. We actually got some ladies on deck this week, and we normally do not do that. We like to, make this a men's space, but we kind of want to just open it up a little bit and see the other perspective here. So, we got the originals. Let's give a round for everybody. And we have Dr. Aisha. How are you?
There we go. I'm good. How are you?
Pretty good. We got my baby sister Shalise. What's going on, girl?
Hi, everybody. I'm doing great. I'm finally happy to be on this podcast. I've been waiting so
I know,
long.
right?
I can't.
We got one of my closest friends in the world, man, Jamara Scott. What's going on, Joe?
Hey y'all, how's everybody doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good.
Well,
So, what's up, Mo Bet? How you feeling tonight?
man, life's good, man.
Oh man,
No complaints here, bro.
period. So let's go ahead and get started with the first question, man. First question: what issues what issues are our kids having nowadays? Everybody, just go ahead and take a stab at whoever want to go first. Go.
Our kids, you want to give an age range for that or
No, just in general. Just everybody got different aged kids here. So just what are you dealing with that you see right now?
too much access to the internet without the emotional intelligence needed to clap back at people when they say mean things on the internet. That's the conversation that I've been having with my youngest lately. If you are on social media and somebody is mean to you, don't underestimate the power of the words "your mama" or slap them when necessary. That's what I'm trying to teach my kids lately.
Dang, man, I didn't even think about that kind of issue. So that's exactly why I asked it like that, right? Go ahead. Who got next?
I thought that was clutch what you just said, lacking the emotional intelligence. I agree with that wholeheartedly. And I think kids, they just lack identity overall. They don't know how to move and operate in this world, especially with the new invention of the internet. It's still very new. Like the 90s babies, we grew up with the internet, and now our children, the iPad babies, are all grown up and they have to navigate the world and they see it all. It was not like for any other generation growing up. So I echo that and agree also. They need to have their identity solid before they step out into the world.
What's going on, Mo? What you got?
Man, it kind of similar to what the lady said so far, but what I've noticed is they're overstimulated. And what happens when they're getting out into the world, they're desensitized to a lot of stuff, man. That's the stuff that I've been noticing a lot. Um, yeah, we'll definitely touch on some stuff later.
Go ahead, rock and roll, Jim.
I would agree with everything everybody said. Also being addicted to technology. I believe we are addicted and we haven't had it our whole life. So, and the young 90s baby over there, we 80s over here. Yeah, I think that the addiction is real. It's really real. I think it's real for us, and it's really extreme for the children.
Lee, you want to go last? Or?
Yeah. I go last.
So the issue I see is just lack of effort. Like like our kids don't have no motivation nowadays to really get out there and do stuff. I just I wish they like were a little bit more driven. And I don't know if it's because of the internet or I don't know what it's due to for real. But lack of effort is the biggest thing I've been seeing.
So for me, I think the biggest thing is like trying to um, like reel in the emotions of. So I have a teenage daughter, and everything that's happening in her life right now, it's like life and death. It's like everything is so important. And if I don't do this or I don't go to this party, if I don't, if I'm not in this crowd, if I'm, it's like everything is like the end of the world. And it's like, no, baby. 5 years from now, half of these people you probably won't even talk to anymore. And 10 years from now, you probably won't even remember them. So, this moment is just the moment. Live in the moment and move on with your life. So I think that's the biggest thing I'm dealing with right now is just trying to reel in those emotions and get her to understand that this is only a piece of your life. This isn't your whole life.
What's going on? Hit me.
Hey,
No.
What's going on, Constance? Miss Parker?
so I wanted to say something about what you said, Kevin. That's one of the things that I was going to say about the kids with technology. It kills the motivation, and I've been looking up the science behind it because the science behind technology and the science behind porn are pretty darn on dang on close, and gaming. Everything you want is at your fingertips, so you constantly are getting dopamine hits, and that overall shrinks the frontal cortex, which is where your motivation even comes from. So once you have things at your fingertips where it's like I can keep getting reward and reward and reward with barely any effort, the motivation dies within a person, kid, adult, old person, doesn't matter who. Yeah, that's what I want to say.
Way to chime in. I could have swore it was my little sister on the line, but I appreciate your feedback, Doc.
I'm here.
So, Connie, the first question is, what issues are you seeing with kids nowadays?
That's social media and being on that electronics. That's screen time.
Everybody's in agreement to that one. So, let's go into the next question, though. So, the next question is, men going to answer for the men. I mean, for the women, and vice versa, right? So, fellas, answer this question when your turn. What's the ideal benefits of having a mother? For your kids on the other side, and ladies, what's the ideal benefits of a father? So anybody can kind of go first.
You said you're letting the men go first, right? I probably better go last.
Nah,
I don't
it
mind
was up for
going
grabs.
first.
It was up for grabs.
I'll go first then because I actually heard got some shocking information this week that I shared with my husband, and it's that the father's diet, because I'm really heavily into nutrition, so that's what I do for my family a lot. But I read that the husband's diet is more influential for the child before conception, through all the way through childbirth, and then after. The important part being after. Like the father's diet is more influential than the mother's as the child grows on, and it affects their own fertility, their height, their weight, all of those things. And I'm like, well, why is that? Because the woman carries the baby. The woman's nutrition is like top priority. It's heavily important, but it's because the father's influence. Like mama can offer kale salad all day long, but if dad's like, yeah, beef ribs, the kids are going to be like, yeah, beef ribs. And that's going to influence them, whether he likes bonbons or oatmeal cream pies. Like that's what the child is going to model themselves after, is the father, because that influence is more important than anything else. Like the father is the head, the leader, whether he is aware or not, whether he wants to be or not, he's always leading and influencing everyone from that top down.
No, that's solid. So influential is one of the benefits of a father in a child's life. Anybody want to go next?
a difficult question for me. Like, I don't even really know how to answer it because I didn't grow up with my dad at all. I know it's beneficial and I know I'm missing something. And I can see the difference between how my girls are growing up with their dad in the picture. But I couldn't explain like what they're getting that I didn't get.
That's crazy. It's kind of a bomb right there. You can't even, you can see the difference, but you can't even like put a finger on it.
Right. Because I mean, I don't have that experience. I'm like, I know something was missing, but what?
What? Yeah. Nah. So for me, I would say like as much as you say the influential part is like is the diet or whatever that the kids. I think the loving and the loving, nurturing, um, someone that, to care about like the little things that like their boo boos, right? Somebody to be organized, um, somebody to kind of watch over the schedule, somebody to kind of maintain or the eating habits. You know what I mean? So like one thing I notice is like uh whatever the mothers say, I mean that's what the kids like. The kids are all about we want to make mom happy. You know what I mean? And it's never really about dad. So having a good mom in the picture, man, is huge. So I mean, one of the things I expect is like I said, is schedule, nurturing. Um, that's really my two main things out that I would see like, man, a mom is really beneficial in these things, right? And then on top of that, it would be like the doctor's appointment, managing that kind of stuff. It would be that special one thing I didn't have is that special meal or that special dessert. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like if a kid could be like, man, my mom got the best peach cobbler, my mom make the best pumpkin pie or something like that. That kind of leaves a mark, you know what I mean? Something, beneficial for the kids. So that's kind of like that's what I would see.
Yeah, for me, I feel like the most important thing that I feel is like um, being able to be emotional with the kids in a way that I can, and being able to to care for them and tap into them, and because sometimes I see like when I see my son fall, what I mean, he's one, so I see him fall and I'm like, you good, get up, man. And then my wife, she'll be like, baby, come here, you got a boo, but just that caring aspect of it, that to me it's just like, nah, man, he got to be tough, but there is that balance that needs to be there. So even though I'm trying to err on the side of, okay, I want him to be able to help himself up off the ground and work his way through that situation, but to also know that we're still here to support in any way. And then my wife, she definitely kicks in on that super mode.
Can I ask a follow-up question?
Yep.
Okay. So you said to be emotional support in the way that you can. So my question is, why can't you be emotional support? If God forbid your wife were not there, let's just say she's overseas for a month. You can't provide any some emotional support for a month. You got to wait until she's she's awake to provide
I
some
love
emotional
that.
support to your kids.
I love that. No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that, the emotional support that she provides is way different than the emotional support that I provide. So I provide emotional support, but it's more like in a, I don't want to say in a masculine way, but it's sort of like in a masculine way. So it's like a bear hug, where my wife is more like, you know what I mean? She's more like she'll caress and rub your back and try to make you feel better and stuff like that. And I that's not my way. So my emotional support is just letting like that strong hug that I'm here, to protect you and support you. So it's just a little bit different.
Can I jump in?
Please.
Yeah, I agree with what you just said. That's how it is in our household. And we talk about this all the time. I'm the more nurturer. Like I'm the nurturer. Like when it comes to she falling, I know if she's faking, if she's not faking, is it a real injury? I can hear about a cry. He's oblivious to all that. He sees her fall, he picks her up, like give her a hug. That's his way of emotional is, you okay, baby? And then it's just not the same type of love. It's his is like you said, more protection. it is, all right, she cool. You all right? Any broken bones? You cool? Me, I'm like, oh, I'm in there. I'm loving her. I'm nurturing. I want to make sure I understand her a little more emotionally than he does. And I feel like that's his role. And he's the protector. When she's scared, she runs to him. When she's sick, she wants me. And I can't play that role. I can't play that. I mean, I can protect her, but it's not the same. It's no matter how much I tried to play that role, I'm just not a dad.
I'd venture to say I could play both of those roles.
False.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I think if you wanted to, if you really wanted to, I mean, you will have no choice if you got to. But
Well, that's what I was about to say. I don't think most women who play both of those roles want to. They just have no choice. So I think we do any mother or father a disservice when we start to divide up the two roles in the first place and define a father's role versus a mother's role rather than just say a parent's role as a whole.
Well, I
Is it
mean,
not a parent's role to protect and a parent's role to be emotionally supportive?
absolutely, but I think it still comes different ways, right? The love and support comes in two different boxes, and I mean maybe it's the same end goal, but we're missing some steps in the process. You know what I mean? So a mom saying I play mom and dad, and in making sure she provides, right? So if a kid never lacks for anything provision wise, that kid is still missing that dad aspect of it. Like you can't do both. Like you know what I mean? And even if you are focused on uh being a provider for your child, some of that nurturing goes away. You don't have as much nurturing to give because you're dog tired. You can't be in your feminine as much. You know what I'm saying? A lot of that goes away because you're worried about providing.
I can agree with that because my mom worked a lot and she was like full-time job in the reserves. There wasn't a lot of nurturing. I mean, she went away. She went in the military. I had to be like a baby, and she left for a significant amount of time. And that's the formative parts of your life when you're supposed to be all held and cuddled by your mom, and that affects you. And that makes it made it difficult for me to be nurturing with my own kids.
So I got a clip. I want everybody to chime in, but I got a clip I want to play and get everybody's feedback. This clip that's kind of bugged me, but anybody else want to chime in to what we're talking about right now?
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to add on to that, to what Dr. Aisha was saying, because I think that both can play both roles if you have to be, but I think it's still you have to tap into different energies to be able to tap into those different roles. So you're dealing with feminine energy and masculine energy that need to protect or provide or whatever. You have to tap into whether you're a male or a female, and then you know what I mean. You're tapping in a different energy when you're talking about being that emotional support in the way that I was talking about that my wife is. So I think you're tapping in the different energies, but I think for me, what I always say is balance is key. So it's best to have both of those energies, and it's hard to have both of those energies simultaneously. If you're trying to do both, you only one at a time.
I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I think that people can overdo both. You can overprotect and you can be overly emotionally supportive. So at the same time, I like the word that you used, balance. I think that if people put forth enough effort, they can balance doing both. I think that I can pick up the rifle out of my closet and shoot somebody and then comfort my children, and help them get through the trauma of the fact that I had to shoot somebody in front of them. I can do both.
I believe you can, but I do not want to. I can't. You can. I absolutely agree with that. It's just, I guess, like I said, it's a conditioning and a choice. Do you want to? It's something like I said. Sometimes you don't have a choice. You do not have a choice in the matter. A lot of time with parents, like sometimes you just got to do both. You could be in a 2-parent household and still the mother has to do both.
Okay.
So, yeah, but I agree with you. If somebody was to run up in here right now while he's at the gym, I'm gonna handle my business. But I'm gonna go run at my baby and give her a hug and kiss like nothing ever happened. I'm gonna calm her down. So I 100% agree with you.
Hey, I got a question. I hear women saying all the time, "I'm mama and dad, I'm mother and father." 45 years of living, I never heard a man say, "I'm mother and father." I'm just
That's
father.
because he probably couldn't be mother. Whoever the man was who if you asked him that question, could he be mother and father, he would probably say, no, I couldn't be a woman. I can only be.
No man would say that.
Ain't gonna be one of them nights. Ain't gonna be one of them nights.
That's why I'm here. That's why y'all don't bring women on. But
no man's going to say I can be mother. We know we can't be mother. We know, and we're not going to even put that in there.
I can't be mother. My father, my parents have 4 kids. I'm the youngest. I'm the only boy. Raised around a lot of feminine energy, but there's nothing in me that I can give my kids that a mother could give them. Nothing. I can only be father to them.
Now I could say that for me, I've never said I could be mother and father. I have no intent on being a father. I expect kids' fathers to be father. However, when we're talking about protection and being hard, I mean, I'm a strong woman with feminine energy. I will also slap a man to sleep if I need to. So come on. I'm just saying this to trigger Mo Bella because I just love your facial expressions.
Because she know what she's doing.
I'm gonna keep triggering. It's so much fun. I can't wait for you to respond.
But I don't think protection is a mother or father instinct. I think that's just a parent instinct.
Exactly. So that's exactly what I said. Pastor Smooth, you missed the beginning when I said that. You weren't here when I said that part. But yeah, I think that a lot of this is just as a parent.
Bible study.
I like that. I'm just saying, my point is that the point I made was that a lot of this is just parenting, where some of these things people are saying father or saying mother. Some of this is just being a parent.
Period. Man, play the clip.
Yeah, I want to play this clip, and it's along the lines.
Because Mo Better got his cup and I got mine, and we gonna go back and forth tonight, aren't we?
Let's get it. Here we go.
An active mother and an active father got 2 different definitions. Active mother, trenches, day in, day out, 24/7. Active mother, PTA meetings, soccer practice, football practice, reading, teaching, homework. Active mother, cook, clean, rear. Active mother. Active father, he come over on weekends. Active father, he buy a gift or 2. Active father, he FaceTimes every once in a while. Different definitions, different standards. Just because you an active father don't mean you pulling your mother weight. You active enough to take pictures, but are you 24/7? Do you know his teacher's name? Do you know what his grade point average is? You know what size shoe your kid wear? You know what prescription his glasses is? When is his next doctor appointment? Quit calling yourself a active parent, active father just because you post pictures on social media once or twice a month. Just because you're not in the household.
He was raised by a woman.
Look, I was about to say that's a titty baby right there, boy. That's a titty baby.
Yeah, he's emotional, man. He must have been left holding the ball a couple times.
He may have a little trauma when it comes to his father. I agree.
Everything he says that an active mother does, I do. I have custody of my kids from their mother, and I don't put no blame. I don't talk bad about her. Nothing. This is what I want. I fought to get them, so I do all that. PTA meetings, football practice, parent-teacher conferences, doctor appointments. I do all that. So why? I mean, I don't understand this dude.
Yeah, like I said, like I've seen people like repost that, and I'm like, man, this is BS. Especially y'all know me, like all the stuff I do, like man, this is just nuts that he has this perspective. You know what I'm saying? And so many people agree. Like if you check the comments on, like so many people like agreeing, like yeah, champion is, but fathers is out here putting in work, man. I just think that's probably them Gen Xers, man. Like,
could it be that the fathers are the ones putting in the work, and that
I think that's a situation where, like we fantasize like the mom, like in America. I don't know if it's America wherever it's at, but if you look at Mother's Day and Father's Day, the big difference in the 2 holidays, you know what I'm saying? How the mom is celebrated and the dad's kind of like, you died. But if you look at it, it's like the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Like we promote the bad fathers. Like that's what you see on TV. That's what you see like in movies. It's a perception, man. And I know more good fathers than bad fathers. You know what I'm saying? Like the people I don't even know a lot of bad fathers. But if you look at it from the outside in, you would think that there's more bad ones than there's good ones. And I think whatever that guy, his image or his perception, whatever that came from, that's just playing into the stereotype that you know what I mean, black men, we struggle as fathers, and I don't think that's true.
For sure. I definitely feel like he was coming from a place of hurt and a place of familiarity where he went through this personally. And you know, and that's his perspective. I get it, but to piggyback on what Hit Me said is like, I know like most of the men that I know are great fathers. Like they are in their kids' lives like all the time, 100%. So I don't know. I don't know his perspective at all. Like I don't, it's not familiar to me.
So it sounds like a lot of you are saying that the men that you are yourselves and the men that you generally see are active fathers in the sense that they show up just as much as what he said active mothers do, which was the point he was proving. So I'm curious, which part of that do you guys disagree with? Because it seemed like he was putting down those fathers that do not show up in that respect. You know, the ones that post pictures, he said, once or twice a month. What do you guys, how do you guys speak to that?
Well, he said first he said active parents, right? But it seemed like he only catered towards the father. But that can go both ways, right? So if we're gonna call it out, let's call out parents in general, not just the fathers. I think that was my issue with it. You only looked at it from one perspective, but there's a lot of fathers out here that's like struggling with children alone, and they're looking for the parents, the woman to be more active. So I think it should be shared. It shouldn't be just one side.
Fair point. Fair point.
Anybody else want to speak to that?
No, I think that speaks a lot about his character. Like all the cats I know that have kids take care of their kids. I surround myself with positive people. Like I don't know what crackheads do because I don't be around crackheads. So how can you speak on what a man's not doing for his child unless you're hanging around men who don't do anything for their kids? So that has a lot to do with his character.
I thought about that. I was thinking maybe he had really sorry friends, but I like the point that I think Hit Me just made about was it you Hit Me? Or maybe I don't know.
It was Hit Me.
Okay, who said that he should have just said active parents. I'm with that. But the thing is, even when you think about active fathers, some of them are more active in some of their kids' lives than they are their others. I know a father who has custody of 2 out of 3 of his kids, and he's really active in their lives. And the kid who has the really good mother, who, you know, that kid is with that mother, he can't even remember the name of her school or the county she goes to school in, or
the squeaky wheel gets the grease.
Or he texts the mom, what's the address?
You know what,
right.
though? You know what I could speak to a little bit on that? Even from my situation, for my older 2, I was everything. You know what I'm saying? Like everything. For the other 2, I don't have to be everything. So, you know, I couldn't wait to like, I don't gotta do that. Like there'd be certain situations she'd be looking at me like, I've seen you do XYZ with your other 2. I'm like, well, you here now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like I could understand that a little bit, not to an extremist point, you know what I mean? But for the things that I needed a woman to do, I'm gonna let her do. You know what I mean? Because I already know, like I said, like we said earlier, I can't be a mother. I only can be a father. And we could go into it a little bit later in depth on even how I was handling certain teenage issues that was coming up. I was doing it completely wrong. You know what I mean? So I want to kind of transition into the next question though. And we spoke about this before, maybe not on this one, maybe it was on the Run to Play pods. But why does society only uplift Black girls and not Black boys?
What? I see a whole bunch of Black boy joy.
I was just about to say, what society are you living in,
I got all Black boy books in my son's bookshelf.
Here we go. Yeah, let's talk about it because, like I said, we have conversations about it all the time. All I ever see is like Black girls code, Black girls STEM,
Black girls magic.
Let's do Black girls, but I never see nothing for Black boys, nothing. So it's like they're just trying to leave them in the balance.
Would you like me to send you a few? I can.
Me too. Yeah, I can send you some stuff.
Speak on it though.
I would like some.
I'll make sure I get them to him, and he'll get them to you. Get me to the end of the week.
I would say
Don't dig
that
too far.
I
I don't want you to have to
actually
dig too far.
I won't, but I got a busy schedule, but I'll make sure you get them by Friday.
I would say that I actually do see the absence in the media of uplifting Black boys. I absolutely, Black boy joy is there, it's present, but it's like a up and coming kind of movement. And you can even tell to see how media, how stark, drastically different it is between how they depict Black women and how it's really in the forefront. Like they keep pushing Black women out, like the Woman King just came out. But still, and I talk to my husband about this all the time, how still we don't see Black men being depicted in film and in TV as a strong, secure Black man, husband, or father. Like there are so many more examples of Black women being depicted as a strong leader in so many roles. And even if you look at Marvel, I'm still waiting to see, like, you know, strong depictions of Black men. There are some, but if you're comparing, you can see that there's a little bit of a disparity there.
So, and I'm not even speaking on movies and social, like I'm speaking in real life. Like we are not championing our young boys at all. You know, I always go back to, I remember when Obama was in office and he had My Brother's Keeper, and like literally there were Black women that came out and were against it. They were like, well, what about the girls? The data showed that the boys were the ones that were lagging behind. So the squeaky wheel was getting the grease. And they were like, you got to do something for the girls as well. And I was like, okay, I think we have a little bit of a divide here. And that's when I initially saw this. So this was like, what, 08, 09. And I was like, we got a problem here. So, yeah, I really think there is a big divide. And because of that, that's why our community is going in the way that it is, because we're not championing our boys. And then when these girls, you know, because I have a daughter that's 14. By the time she gets of age, it's going to be very difficult to find a suitable partner for her, at least somebody that I would find suitable for her.
When you say suitable, you said somebody that you find suitable for her. I would love to hear what you think that includes.
I thought he was going to pick him for her. Like,
oh, stay tuned.
That's what it sounded like.
I will play a part in that
type of thing.
So what does a suitable partner for your daughter look like?
So a couple things. And you know, I'll give kind of the Cliff Notes version, but somebody who is a leader, somebody who is able to take care of her, somebody who is able to respect her, somebody who's able to grow a family and to keep, because obviously she's going to be giving up my last name, so it's going to be a last name that I wanted to take, this worth giving up mine for.
So not Jones.
No, not Jones.
Okay, not Jones. Okay.
Not Jones.
I didn't hear. Does he have to be a Black man? I didn't hear that. Does he need to be Black?
I would love for him to be, because I think that that's the person who's going to understand where she comes from, but you know, where she grows up may not happen. But I would like for it to be, preferably.
I want everybody to kind of speak to the general topic, but that's definitely a question down the line of what you're going to do if your kid bring home somebody different. But let's focus on what we talk about with the Black right now, and then we'll go into that. So let's finish this one up first, though. Everybody need to chime in, though.
I'll go. I haven't seen too much Black boy joy, but on the same note, I have a daughter, so I'm not going to be pretty much I'm not their target market, so I don't know if that's the reason I haven't seen too much of it. I'm not looking for it. So I'm not looking for it. If I'm on Facebook, Instagram, or anywhere on there, they're not going to use me as a mark. I'm not their target audience. So that's the reason I probably have not seen that much of it, or it's just not out there. But I have no idea.
Yo, I think the problem with the Black boy joy sometimes is it's kind of catered to, like, you know what I'm saying, like kind of open-ended to the LBTQTG, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, the alphabet it is, but it's kind of catered, you know what I mean, to, like, you know what I'm saying, kind of pushing like a homosexual agenda sometimes. So like even with the Black boy joy, like, and you look at it, how they promote strong women, I think like they kind of demasculating the men with the same movement. So it gets my thoughts on that.
Is that what you're saying? Just for clarification, like, is it the joy part?
No, I don't. No,
because
it's not. It's not. It's not his. It's not that word. It's not.
nah,
It's saying he. You want to go ahead and finish?
nah, go ahead, go ahead.
So basically, what he's saying is pushing. Pushing women to be career driven and get in the bag and blah 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 blah. The emasculating part is not pushing our boys at all. It's not the. It's not the term black boy joy. It has nothing to do with that. He's just talking about the scenario. So in that's what he's speaking to.
I have an opinion on that, and this is just my opinion. I agree with you. I thought the same thing. I thought, in my opinion, for the last couple of years, I believe that they were pushing young men to think that the alphabet community was cooler than being a black man. So, and I just felt that that's what the agenda was. To go over here, you don't have to be a black man. It's easier to be over here. That was just my opinion. I had a couple conversations about it. Because you've seen a lot of black boys in that, like just the new shows that was coming out and stuff like that. It was always a gay boy or a gay black boy at that. So to go back, I forgot who said it about, Marvel and stuff like that. And it was a show I watched recently. It was a Marvel show and only one character in there, unnecessary scene, black guy that was gay. Completely unnecessary. The whole 7 seasons had nothing to do with sexuality. Just that one scene was a black guy that was gay. So I definitely think that's a narrative and a conversation that need to be had as well. And maybe that's why black
anybody
joy.
Else want to chime in?
Joy, could I see that?
Or we go to the next topic?
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything to say about it, honestly, because I haven't even heard of this black boy joy thing. I haven't seen any of these narratives. Like, I have a 16-year-old daughter, so of course the black girl magic and what I mean, all the the strong black girl power movement. I see a lot of that, and like she said, maybe it's it's just catered to me from the algorithm because of the searches that go on in our house. But yeah, I haven't seen any of that, but I would love to see some of that because I got a young prince growing up now, so I need some more of that. And I mean, not necessarily from the outside because I'm gonna push him in the right way anyway, but I would love to be able to see some of that because of that, how much access they have to social media and all these different views and things that I would like to be able to push some of that his way.
So next question is, should we be raising our daughters to be strong? Should we continue with this strong daughter narrative?
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna say no too, because I've seen the damage that's done. What? There you go, rolling your eyes, Mo Better. Listen, I think that we should raise our women, because I have 2 teenage girls, to be strong in the sense of just, physically strong and able to do what you need to for yourself if you have no support. But we should also be raising our daughters to be willing to accept support when they need it so that they don't end up going batshit crazy from trying to do everything themselves.
For sure. You got that.
So when it comes to, like, I don't have a problem. Like, so for the record, I have a daughter. I don't mind her being strong, but my thing is, I think there's a place to be strong, but I'm not necessarily raising her to be independent, saying I don't need a man. It's that I need the right man. I don't need any man. So she's strong in a way that she can. Well, really, I mean, she really don't even need to hold her own, because the plan is she's under my covering until she gets her husband to be covered. But that's my plan, is for her to be strong enough until she meets the right leader. That's my take on it. So I'm not trying to remove any strength away from her. That's not my plan at all.
See, we agree for the wedding, on that, bro?
Oh, that was a good question.
What's that?
Are you paying for the wedding?
Absolutely.
So we agree on that. I think the things that I teach my daughters are things that my father taught me, not with the purpose of me being independent, but with the purpose of me stepping in if I need to, if something happens to whatever husband I have next. In the case when I was married, when my then husband couldn't change a damn tire and I had to be the one to do it. I mean, we teach our daughters these things in case said man that they choose doesn't end up being as strong as we thought they were. But that's not because we want to do it. It's because I'm not gonna fail just because you can't be a man.
So you saying your dad? Did your dad vet, or did your dad vet your husband?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't able to tell you like he ain't the one or he is the one.
Well, for a while he was. We were young. That's a story for another day. Neither one.
I mean,
of us,
but I'm just saying,
neither
like,
one
so,
of us were the one.
Well,
I won't give him all the credit for.
I'm just saying, if my daughter brung a candidate around me, I'm giving the, you know what I mean, the man test off rip. Like,
what's the man test?
I mean the man test. I mean the man test is like, I mean, we could kind of fill him out, but I'm gonna ask him, I'm asking him basic questions, but then I'm gonna be like, take a ride with me to the store, and I'm gonna see how he walks around. If he holds his head up, if he holds it down, you know what I'm saying. I'm probably gonna ask him to work out, and see at what point he's gonna quit in the workout. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, Mo Better don't like that.
Here you go with the Rambo test. Here we go.
It's going to be that, because I feel like that's what it's going to take, right? I mean, if you got to protect, it's going to take that. If you're going to like raise more kids and all that, it's more than that, dog. You ain't gonna always have that. But according to Smooth, he always ready.
Test too.
Say that again.
You're gonna give him a literacy test too, and see if he can balance a checkbook and all of that, so that he doesn't mess up her money in here.
That's another thing. I would rather a woman handle that. But
look, I was about to say that too. I was gonna say he gonna want, make sure you make the money, then bring it home, and my daughter she gonna direct all that. That's where he was gonna go with that. I knew that's where he was going with that.
Yeah. So I mean, I think a woman should be involved in the finances that way, and handling village and that kind of stuff. Like, I think that's an ideal role.
So the woman should control the money. I
mean, I guess, yeah, she should be able to. Yeah,
like, no further.
I don't see it. I don't see an issue. I don't see an issue with that. Just like a business has an accountant, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, the CEO ain't worried about the finances. He over there like making business deals and making connections and driving it in. So you gotta delegate certain issues, man. And that's one issue. That's one thing that I don't necessarily want to handle, but it is what it is.
Shouldn't it be based on strengths? Like, if I'm horrible at money, why should I run the money? Why should I do the bookkeeping?
Well, I mean, that's what you got to look for, things you are weak in, right?
Like, we're supposed to balance, right?
It should be balanced.
Thing. Like, if I don't bookkeep, I don't bookkeep.
Right. I mean, then you probably just ain't the right person for that person who needs bookkeeping.
So ultimately, you'll need to have a good handle on your daughter's weaknesses in order to figure out what you need to assess about her future husband's strengths.
Potentially. What I was going to say was, if you're not good at that man can lead you and he can teach you some things. Just because your left hand isn't strong doesn't mean I'm supposed to just let it die. But okay.
There's also that, right? Like, if he knows it could be something that he knows, and as long as you're willing, I mean, the goal would be to raise willing daughters, in that aspect, to where they could be taught how to do something. Like, my wife didn't have to know how to cook. As long as she was willing to learn how to cook, I'd teach her every recipe I know. You know what I mean? And from that point on, she's cooking what I like. So it's cool. So it could be just one of those things where I just see somebody to unload.
Young enough. That's why it's important to catch each other young enough to where y'all can be molded. I think that's why I was like, that's kind of the point. Like, you're not supposed to have all these experiences and then come back into it and be like, no, that ain't it. Because I used to do this. Like, y'all are supposed to actually be able to come, but we getting off into a tangent. So
okay.
Next question, Vic.
Yeah, chime in.
Whatever colors you
Please.
I think the mentality of just raising, it should be a mentality of raising a strong partner rather than raising a strong individual, because you're entering into a partnership. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, you should want to be a good partner and kind of see where you fit in and where you add value at, rather than just being this individual saying, this is what I do, this is what I am. You know what I'm saying? If you look at it from that type of aspect as a partnership, I think that changes the whole dynamic of the relationship, and it takes the individual out. It kind of, it's like in sports, you know what I'm saying? You can be the best player, but you're still on the team. You know what I'm saying? So you got to see how all your skill sets fits that make that team better. See what I'm saying? Because you can make the team worse even though you're a great player. So I think it's like, if we raising strong women, we gotta raise strong partners. You know what I'm saying? The same with men. They gotta raise a strong partner and not able to, you know what I mean?
So that kind of like we're sliding right into the next question. The next question is, how are we doing the dating thing with our kids? You know, when it's time for them to start dating, and are we vetting, or what if they bring home that's not our ideal? You know what I mean? So how are we handling like your kid bringing home somebody that's like you don't agree with?
I probably have the most controversial view on this, but I'm like a hair away from arranged marriage. Only to say that I just believe that the family should be very, very involved when it comes to courtship for your children, you know, especially when they're teenagers. Like, boyfriend and girlfriend is not something I personally believe in because, you know, I believe in courtship. You're practicing for marriage. And I don't believe teenagers should just be, you know, out here running wild and doing everything. But like, that's just not what I believe in. So my husband and I, we hope to be very involved with their friends, with other families that we are very close to, that our children are being raised around, not to force anything, but to encourage where we can and to make it very clear this is the standard of family, this is the standard of caliber of young person that you may want to date, and be as involved as we can be, honestly. I know that's not the way the world is today, but that's something I'm very firm about.
I love the idea of arranged marriage because a lot of the big reasons with divorces are issues with the families. I mean, it's bad having bad in-laws. I know personally. But my oldest daughter, she has her little boyfriend. She's been dating for a few years, and I met him when they were friends. I hang out at his mom's house. They come to all my parties. You know, he has my number. He can call me when needed. When he's here, if I need to get gas and it's the middle of the night, they're going to have to get in the car. Well, not the middle of the night because we have a curfew. You got to be out of my house by a certain time. No, spend the night over here. But if it's dark outside and I'm going to get gas so that I won't have to get in the morning, he will volunteer to ride with me so that he can pump the gas. That lets me know he's a good boyfriend. He would never allow my daughter to pump her own gas. If he's here in the daytime and he sees my car is dirty, he will ask me if I have car soap and stuff, and he will wash my car. I love him. And if something happens in their relationship, it's probably her that's the problem, not him. He's perfect. But it's important, like you said, that I be involved in their relationship and that I know his family and they know me. And I mean, we've been on vacations and stuff together. It's a good deal.
Dang, I feel bad because I already know that's probably not going to be your son-in-law.
Don't do that.
Dang, my man. He's going. Hey, he gonna be a savage after this though. He gonna be an absolute savage.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Go ahead. Somebody else chime in. With the dating for your kids, and speak on if they bring home somebody you don't agree with.
So for me, man, like, you know, mine was 14. I said there's no dating. There's no dating until you're 16. So that's flat out. So I've said that already. So obviously I'm projecting here, but when we get to that point, man, I'm definitely going to be part of that. And like I said, man, if you're to the point where I don't approve of them, you're going to have to be sneaking to do this because I don't want them around. I don't want you interacting with them. Like, I'm like, if I feel that's not somebody of the caliber and somebody that I want you to be around or be dealing with, I'm like, they're out of there. And I don't have a problem saying it. I make the rules as long as you're, under my covering. I'm making the rules and be like, that's a no-go. I don't think that's the right person for you. So I don't, I'm not going to in no way, shape or form help facilitate this relationship any further. So you understand my wishes. I don't want them around. Get out of here, whatever. So at that point, she would have to be doing it behind my back. And I would imagine, teenagers, they probably do that type of thing. But my feelings and my wishes will definitely be known for sure.
Yeah, you're right. She definitely will do it behind your back. I think we spoke about this on one of the earlier podcasts. With my daughter, and we had that same conversation. And I was like, and I didn't even say when you're 16 you can start dating. I said when you're 16 we can start having that conversation about dating. And she apparently didn't agree, and she decided to take it upon herself to start dating this person behind our backs. And it took a while for us to figure it out. Like we had to go through a lot of different things to figure it out. But it was like, well, we already decided this. You know what I mean? Like we had a discussion. You were okay with that discussion at the time, and then you decided that you wanted to just go ahead and do what you want to do. So at first, like I was upset with her, and then I met the guy, and I'm like, okay, I'll give him a chance, because we're here now, so we got to deal with this. So it's like, okay, well, I'll give him a chance. So got to know the guy. He seemed like he was a decent dude, So, and it was pretty innocent. It was just kind of like, I mean, I talk about me and Kevin growing up all the time. Like they're, 14, 15, 16, man, who we was all out here in these streets. So, my daughter, she's just holding hands in school, maybe, you know what I mean? It was super innocent. So it was like, okay,
maybe
I could get behind that, super innocent. Cause he was just like a extra corny dude. Like, you know what I mean? Not really.
And that could be his mask.
Corny dudes do, they try you too.
Yeah, he wasn't trying her. And I could feel confident in saying he wasn't trying her like that because I had the conversation with him. And when I did the handshake, the handshake test, you know what I mean? This handshake was a little, it wasn't really firm. So I was like, all right, I'm not really worried about this guy right here. So
that's the sexual lie detector, the handshake test.
No, that's just letting me know how where your manhood is at, like how strong you are. If you're gonna be the aggressive one. And I'm like, my daughter's way more aggressive. So if something was to happen, it'd probably be her pushing it. So I was more worried for him than I was about my daughter. So but yeah, I really didn't want any dating at all. But when it comes to that, it's like, okay, I want to be able to meet this person. I want to be able to meet this person's family. I want to see exactly where their head is at and what this is about. Because especially if we're talking about teenage dating, like we're not talking about marriage. We're not talking about, like we're not even thinking like long-term relationship. We're just thinking, okay, they're just, playing around and experimenting and stuff. So, but I still want to be I still want to be in a mix because I want to see what this person is about because I want to understand the influences that are in my daughter's life.
So I want Connie and Hit Me to both chime in because he has a teenage son that's 17, and you got a college kid, Connie. So
I mean, we met her guy friends. More didn't really date seriously. She didn't get a real relationship until she went to college. And with that, she's in Atlanta, so it's not really possible for us to vet this person. But he seems like a good dude, and I trust her.
Why you say that like that? I trust her. Like
I trust.
You can trust kids out here. You can't. I don't know. I
trust her because we have an open dialogue about her relationship and everything. Like we talk about the hard stuff. She doesn't have to hide things from me. And as far as like our 14-year-old, I mean, I wouldn't call it dating. Got a little girlfriend. I took him to get her a Valentine's Day gift. But as far as like going out and being alone, no, none of that. You like boyfriend, girlfriend at school.
What's up, Hit? You got something to speak on? I know you got a story about yours. So yours is moving a little different.
Oh, yeah, man.
Off the old block.
Yeah. So yeah, I had the unfortunate pleasure of like catching my child in the act, like in the middle of the night. So, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, right, of course, initially, you're gonna be angry But I had to have that dialogue with him, kind of like what you guys are talking about, and it came from a perspective like, if this is somebody that would do this with you, is this really somebody you want? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you looking for in a woman? You know what I'm saying? And like, it opened up some really good dialogue, because I want him to understand some of the stuff that we talked about in a lot of shows. Like, what are we really looking for in a woman? What values, you know what I'm saying, that we hold dear in a woman? So it ain't like, to me, it ain't about color, it ain't about race. You know what I'm saying? It's about like, what values does this person have? You know what I'm saying? To possess him, and what's attracting you to her. You know what I mean? So like with him, like that conversation, like we broke it down, and he figured out like that's probably not the woman that he want to be with. You know what I mean? Somebody who's capable of doing something like that with him. You know, even though we like to enjoy him, but that shouldn't be, you know, like, not to say it like that, but you know, like, you know, we enjoy their company for the time being, but that's not a long-term thing that we're looking for. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, man, if I can teach them anything to bring, it's gonna be about values, man. Like, and making sure that this dude crazy. Like, he has those core values that he's looking for, and that, you know what I'm saying, that's what he's looking for in a woman, not a big butt and a smile. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, so it's kind of weird. It's not weird, but you know how we functioned growing up. You know what I mean? And it was a long time before, we got married from the start to we actually got married, right? And there's a lot of things happen in between. So it's like teaching your son to navigate through that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not necessarily, the expectation so different when I'm telling my daughter, don't do this. And my son, like, I understand you're going to do this.
But then are you going to teach your son to be better than you were? I mean, I'm not saying that you were bad, but based on what I'm hearing, the little droplets y'all are leaving, maybe you were not someone's Prince Charming that you would want your daughter to come in contact with. Are you raising your son to be
It
somebody's
depends on
Prince
who. It
Charmer
depends.
or their worst nightmare?
It depends, because I'm some women's Prince Charming, like, growing up, like some moms loved me, and then like there was others that didn't. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of
Would
understanding,
you
like,
want your daughter to date you at her age?
at her age,
The age you are now, that she is, would you want her to date 17-year-old
a 17-year-old
you?
me?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I can say
Not
yes.
you can say yes. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think I see your point, but I think that I'm not training him to be like a dog, right? I'm not, like you say, a dog, right? I'm not training him to be a dog. But I mean, there's something that's gonna happen as teenagers on both sides. Like, it's a lot of experimenting, it's a lot of things that's gonna happen, people trying to figure themselves out. I think for my story early on, I got a relationship really early in my life, and it was based off of like how I felt, like emotions and different things. I'm trying to teach him how to think past the emotions. You know what I'm saying? Because she looks good, because she makes you feel a certain way, then, you know what I mean, you're going to gravitate. But I want him to look at things like, what's her goals? Like, what's her family like? How's the relationship with her brothers and her sisters? Like, because all those things eventually is going to play out in their relationship. How she treat her mom and her dad is how she going to treat you. You know what I'm saying? So, like, there's a different things that I'm trying to teach them, and elevating past just, like I said, thinking about, you know what I'm saying, like most teenage dudes, is how she looks, you know what I'm saying, what she has. But it's just a training thing, but we're not teaching them to be dogs, though.
Can we go back to 17-year-old Kevin? Because no, we grew up together, and no, I would not recommend that my daughter date 17-year-old Kevin.
Thank you for speaking on that, Connie, because I didn't know 17-year-old Kevin, but from what I've heard, I wouldn't want my 17-year-old daughter dating 17-year-old Kevin.
Hey, I would have dated 17-year-old Kevin.
You would have?
Yo, that we had the dreads. That was the dread time.
No, that was that was 19-year-old.
No,
Oh,
that was
19-year-old
not yet.
No, I was solid. I was solid. You know what I mean?
We're not talking about physically. We're talking about, Were you dogging
physically, mentally? Yeah, I was a solid dude. I was a solid 17-year-old. You know. So, me personally,
the giggling after that leads me to believe different. But I'm not going to psychoanalyze you tonight.
No, don't do that right now.
All
But
right.
man, it's so if any of my kids brought home somebody I didn't agree with, I'm disowning. Like cut this off. We're not doing this here. Because I tell them all the time, y'all, I raised y'all, I had y'all to be a part of the solution, not the problem. You know what I'm saying? And the problem in the community for me is the nuclear family. I think it's the number one thing that holds the Black community back. And until we get that right, we can't get anything right. And that's just my perspective on it. So without it, like I said, I tell all of them, y'all here for the solution. If you don't want to be a part of the solution, fine, that's on you. You know, live your best life. But if you can't be a part of the solution, you can't be a part of me. So that's kind of how I feel about them bringing in anything I don't agree with. So,
you know, that's going to make whatever you're not agreeing with, like it's the whole moth to a flame kind of thing. When you come out that hard, that's going to make them want it just that much more.
That's fine. That's fine.
Those are the same ones that come, talk to me and sit on my couch because
as long as you know,
control everything in their life.
It's not necessarily about control. It's just about choices. Here's your choices. I lay them out. You could choose this or you could choose that. I'm not trying to control. You could choose whatever you want. Everybody has free will. Just know if you make that choice, that's choosing not to be a part of me. And you got to be okay with those kind of choices. That's just like I don't hang out with people that sell drugs anymore, right? Because you know what I'm saying? I'm choosing to be around that environment, and whatever happens to them could happen to me. I got to take that consequence. Go ahead, Jim. You've been quiet, Jim.
My baby's 5, so as far yes, you. As far as dating, and I would love for my child to stay in the color. I would love for us to stay in our race, but I know I'm not going to have too much control over that. As far as dating, I don't want her to date. I want her to focus on what she needs to focus on. I think it's unnecessary to date in high school. It's just pointless. It's a waste of time. You get your feelings hurt for no reason. So I'm not going to encourage it. But yes, 5, the world's going to be totally different in 10, 11 years. So, but yeah, I'm not going to disown her. I'm just going to talk to her. And I'm going to know what I'm going to tell my kid. Base her relationships off of values, not chemistry. If somebody would have told me this, I would have learned early in the game. Somebody would have told me early in the game that chemistry means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. It's just you have chemistry with the most random people. It means nothing. Don't base who you date, who you love, who you have sex with, who you have kids with, based off of chemistry. Based off, it has to be deeper than that. So I'm gonna teach her that.
No, I could dig that. Anybody else want to close out on that? Well, cool, man. So I only like to keep you guys for an hour. I think we're gonna have to have a part 2 to this, man, because I have so many more questions. But I don't, some people got curfews and bedtimes, and we all adults here. So
I would love a part 2, though. I think that's a definite must. Bring the ladies back.
We like to keep it a safe space, you know what I mean? As long as we can keep it away from getting from the negative aspects of each other, you know what I'm saying? And we're a solution-based podcast, man, and I just kind of want to keep it there. Anybody want, shout out to their business?
Oh, I went private practice, y'all. So for Jumbo Counseling Services. So I'm so happy and I'm about to start doing in person. So I'm getting my little office together.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anybody else? We got Hit Me Boxing over in Stone Mountain. So if you ever, want to get some cardio and learn how to fight, punch somebody in the face, go see my guy.
I want to do some boxing. Would that come off as masculine energy, though? Would that not be feminine energy? I mean, I'm just wondering based on what y'all said. So it's the reason y'all don't bring women on, right? Was that too aggressive? Was that too much?
No, that's not it. We just don't want to attack each other. And I don't know. Your energy's been solid.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Good thing. You're a good neighbor.
I mean, I baked the cake today. That was feminine.
Did she
right?
bring some
So
home?
womanly, yes.
That's one of those things. I said like, hey, my kid gotta know like my mama make the best pound cake. That's the thing. Peach cobbler, something. Make something. Make the house feel like a home.
And
That's y'all
money,
job.
cake and money. Mhm.
Anybody else want to say anything?
So I don't have a business I want to plug, anything like that, but I usually say that at the end of most of these shows and most of these episodes, man, invest in yourself. You're the most important investment that you got. Do what's best for you and yours, and generally everything will work out to the positive.
All right, sounds like a wrap up. Unless Leafer want to say something.
Now I'm good. Everybody have a good night, man. Good episode.
And that's another Prototype Dad. Thanks, ladies, for coming on.